So this is the part of building a music career that no one really shows you. It is currently 10:45ish on a Tuesday night. I just got done rehearsing for an upcoming show, and before that, I was making dinner for my wife and me, and then before that, I was working my 9 to 5. I am extremely tired right now. I was tired while rehearsing. But the show must go on. And then on top of that, I need to make content. And I haven't really posted a lot here on this YouTube channel for a while. I've been trying to figure out a new system with me kind of having to do everything by myself. So, for the most part. So, for the time being, what I think I'm going to do is these one take vlogs where I just talk about stuff. I was doing these while I was working on my EP, and they are exclusively on my for channel members and then also on my Patreon. But I think I'm gonna make this a public video just so I can like show the process. So yeah, like I said before, I have a show coming up. This is gonna be my first show since 2019. I have not performed since 2019, which is crazy. That's like 6 years ago. And this is the first time that I'm performing as J.GH. So I'm trying to piece together a very interesting show, and it's a little bit elaborate. If you look in the background, you can see my setup, and I'll probably do a quick little video tour of that later when I'm not tired. But it's multiple pieces that I've had to acquire over time and piece together. But I'm at a stage where it's pretty much ready. Let's talk a little bit more about this show. So, at the beginning of the year, I had two goals. Goal number one was put out my EP This Way Up on my 30th birthday. That goal, checkbox, completed. The second goal I had was to perform at least twice this year. And so far, I've only booked one show. I had the opportunity to book another show, which would have been the second show, but there was a scheduling conflict and I wasn't able to say yes to that opportunity. As a result, I'll count it as almost a success, like a 1.5, where I got the opportunity, but I just had to say no. And I did get another opportunity, so it's like 1.5, so I'm close. But anyways, the reason I'm kind of talking about this is because I kind of wanted to talk about what I did to get to this point this year. So when I say goals, it's very loosely based. A lot of what I do is I think about what I want to accomplish, and then I just reverse engineer how to get to that point from there. And this works extremely well on like the small scale of like achieving a thing. I've heard this example where somebody said that if you're going to make a goal, it doesn't make sense to make a goal like based off of results. So like let's say like I had a goal of like hitting 1 million subscribers in 3 years or something like that. That's something that you can't control. You can't control if anyone does or doesn't subscribe to your YouTube channel or if someone listens to your music or not. But you can control your input and your output. You just can't control the result of said input and output. So what that means is I can have a goal to practice every day for this show, or at least every day during the week for the show. That's an input goal. An output goal is like with my EP. I had a goal putting out my EP on my 30th birthday in February. And those are things that you can control. And for me, I have found that that is the best way for me to approach things because if I say I'm going to do a thing, it gives me a pretty clear path of what I need to do to accomplish that goal. So when it comes to the situation of me trying to do going back to my EP, what I actually had to do in order to put out my EP on my birthday, which is in February, that meant I had to start in 2024 working on that EP. I can't just wait until January and say, I'm going to put out an EP and then try to scramble and get all the pieces together, especially with what I wanted to do with my EP. Like, for example, I wanted to have visuals that go along with it. So visualizers and things like that. I wanted to make content for it. I wanted to have canvases for Spotify. I had shot my own cover art, so on and so forth. I had all these things I needed to do. So there is absolutely no way I was going to be able to pull that off in 1 month. So what that meant was that I started working on this EP that I planned to put out on my birthday in February of 2025 in July of 2024. And I spent the next 6-ish months working on this EP because I knew that in order for me to reach my output goal, I had to have an input that would get me there. When it comes to having a better performance for this upcoming show, my input goal is practicing every single day. So as much as possible, at least I'll say. So this is a newish established goal that I have because I have that show. So what that means is I need to make sure that regardless of how tired I am going to stand up because I stand up at my set. I'm going to stand up behind my little setup and I'm going to run through the entire set. If I don't go through the entire set, at minimum, I'm going to, at minimum, I'm going to practice a couple songs that I've been having issues with and try to get more comfortable with them. Today I did both. But I think the thing that is not really noticed when you see the final result on a stage when someone's performing is the amount of time and hours that they have to put in to be able to even pull that off. And that takes having an input goal of consistency. I haven't really moving on to another point of goal / consistency / input output. I have not fully set an input or output goal for this YouTube channel. So it's been kind of floundering for a bit. I do want to get to a place where I have those goals in place. I just haven't figured out what the input or output goal is going to be. And that's where taking time to self-reflect comes into play. But then we go full circle and we're back to I'm super busy, especially with me having a show come up, because that's all I'm basically spending all my music time on right now. Just trying to get better at this performance and trying to get all the little details honed in. But anyways, this was a ramble by J.GH. I just decided to sit down and hit record and just make something, and I'm going to upload this right now in this moment, and just whatever happens, happens. So if you like this, then hit the subscribe button. If you made it this far, comment and let me know. And if I do get some comments, maybe I will make more of these one-take vlogs that I'm doing without editing and then uploading. So anyways, catch you in the next one.